Alright, welcome back guys. Let's continue our adventure in Alone with You. Flubgy, please just see me right away. We should talk. Let's get going. So I'm gonna try to complete this game in this stream. If I get like 2 hours in and I'm still not done, well, I might end it there, but I might not. I'm probably just gonna beat this whole game in one last go. Thank you for coming to see me. I want to apologize for my behavior yesterday. I was very curt with you, I know. When you came to see me, it was rude of me and I shouldn't have acted that way. It's okay. Thank you, Flubgy, for understanding. I've been so preoccupied with all the tasks I must do each day, helping you on your missions, crunching data here, not to mention interfacing with the holograms and getting their input to help with the escape ship. That has been very trying. I suppose I have been somewhat overtaxed. I think I'm becoming somewhat confused. How so? Really, Flubgy? It's no concern. You have a lot to worry about already. I've got things under control. There are 2 more areas you'll need to explore to get what we need. I know this week has been difficult, but please don't worry. Just head to the shuttle and plot a course to one of the 2 remaining areas. Let's go to the caves again. Through the caves! God damn it. The top of my drink won't stay. Pretty annoying. Sorry, there's gonna be loud noise on that mic for a second. Good. You've reached a refinery. The crystals you saw in the mains are processed and refined here into usable energy. This facility was considered very dangerous when seismic activity began to compromise the colony. Unfortunately, that meant reduced energy production. We need to see if there's any processed energy stores that we can salvage for the escape ship. Let's see if the refinery is still operational. It sure is quiet in there. I'm not picking up much machine activity at all. There, those 3 doors should let you check on the various components of the refinery. I'm gonna exit the door until the gym has been shut off. Password required. Locked. Alright, well, now I know my objectives. And go down. Look at debris. That place has sustained a lot of damage. The debris in front of you is completely blocking the door to access the tubes. You won't be able to descend to the... You won't be able to descend to the next floor that way. Well, yeah, there's a fucking... Alright. So level 2 access. Not locked. Let me guess. West Maintenance Corridor. I'm picking up heavy particles and traces of an explosion through your suit's filters. That corridor must be in ruins. Yeah, probably is. Those are the charred remains of engineer Hannah Pang. I'm afraid. The condition and position of the remains suggest she was killed by a blast. The destruction of that hallway is the likely candidate. It's possible she was inside the nearby chamber and was blasted out there. Are you okay? Of course. You're demonstrating remarkable resolve in the face of such senseless loss and destruction. I'm afraid this will likely not be our last unfortunate discovery, as we still have much work to do. Password control. Alright, well, it's one place to go, which is the tube access. What, baby bear? Baby bear. That's my kitty. Use tube lift. This tube can go up or down. Which way will you go? Let's go up for right now. Only really. Oh. Another body. Underneath the rubble of the collapse lie the remains of Project Control Supervisor Ren Nomura. Nomura? Similar to Mr. Jaeger and the agrodomes, Mr. Nomura wasn't killed by the debris. He lived for a short time afterward. That's awful. It is tragic, to be sure. Through the dust, you should still be able to see a short message scratched into the ground. The markings on the floor are crude, but the message reads Lu Mu MBA B Tra EGS. Oh, that's probably the password. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Yes. That could have been the password. The explosion on the floor above you affected that area too. A seismic event must have exacerbated the damage, causing the sinkhole. The reception is really weak down there. I'm picking up something up ahead very faintly. Is that a drone? Yes, it is. That drone is an excavation model. If you can find replacement parts for it, you should be able to operate it. There's a serial number etched into the drone shell, 7623. Maybe that would be helpful. 7623. Seven, 6, 2, 3. Yeah, I fucking found it. Alphanumeric passcode open. You wanna? Let's do it. Okay, good. Those are parts from another drone that is no longer functioning. You can use these to repair the drone in the underground passage. This isn't everything you need, though. You have to find another set to be able to repair the drone down there. Nope, it's something. Your scan reveals that to be the body of Safety Supervisor Bill Dupree. He appears to have died of chemical exposure. Likely, he somehow carried himself to that control room. He would have been in terrible agony, I'm afraid. Oh. Ugh. That terminal's local storage has been severely damaged, but it can still read external media, such as data cards. The readings from that control room explain a lot. It looks like the reason so much of the facility shut down is due to some kind of emergency. There were leaks, compromises in key systems, and a general state of disarray. The facility was shut down for safety reasons. That console will let you release the lock to maintenance control on this floor. Maybe you'll find some way to get those chambers open there. Do you want to open the maintenance control door? Yes. Good find. Those internals can be used to repair the drone in the underground passage. You've got everything you need. You're ready to turn to the underground passage now. I'm gonna wait. The flexible pipe is carrying byproducts and toxins away. It might be where the steam on the floor above you is coming from. If you pull the pipe out, it should allow you to access that chamber. Are you going to do so? Yes. Oh wait, didn't need to go this way. Yeah, I need to go this way. Let's go down. You should have the parts you need. Are you going to attempt to fix the drone and reactivate it? Yes. Ah! Flubsy, the signal is faint and I registered a large explosion. Are you right down there? I'm okay. This is very good news. I must confess I was quite worried for a moment there. Quite worried. In any case, I'm glad to see you have been unaffected. It looks like the explosion cleared out the path in front of you. Please do be careful down there. The faint signal is not reassuring, and I wouldn't want you to venture to where we couldn't communicate. It looks like a sleeping area was set up here. Along the ground are ventilation cables and a micro generator. Those maintenance tools have been heavily modified. They're portable tools for reading and regulating the processing chamber in the refinery. Someone was keeping offline records on those instead of using the facility's networked readings. Those are scraps of handwritten notes by Mr. Lumumba. Snippets of formulae, what-if scenario, and on-the-fly adjustments. Was Mr. Lumumba really tampering with the refinery? Why would he do such a thing? Thanks to him, we cannot extract any useful energy from there. This is most troubling. The data card looks to be in good shape. You can use it in a terminal to read its contents. Anything else? No. No, smoke tools. I should have that. Oh, wait. Oh, shit, I should use a data card. Reading data card now. It's a bit slow since the terminal is in such poor repair. There's a file on here I can still read for you. It's called something 03 and it reads, "Things are worse than ever. Nomura is getting suspicious. It's getting more and more difficult to work without being noticed. Bill, I think he knows. He's probably on his way to confront me, but the seismic activity is getting out of hand." Sound of explosion and rumbling. Damn it, another movement. That was a big one. I hope I'm not trapped down here. It sounded bad. Going to need to seal off the chambers to avoid further meddling. I'll switch access codes. They'll know something's up, but it's the only way. I'll make the code to the upper chambers filter. It'll have to do. Filter, okay. Build 2. Oh, this doesn't look promising. Oh, yeah. The crystals that are fed into the conversion chamber are cracked at a molecular level and turned into microscopic pieces. Think of it like a melting process, except the crystals don't melt. They get converted into millions of tiny particles like an extremely fine sand. This makes them light and soluble in a transport solution, so they can act as fuel. The results from here move on to the treatment chamber. Based on the damage, though, it looks like the chamber was heavily tampered with. It's completely useless to us now. We should see if the separation chamber fared any better. Oh, no, it's a complete mess in there. That huge machine uses complicated nanobots and chemical solutions to remove dirt and impurities from the mine crystal shards. From here, the pure crystals get transferred to the conversion chamber, but that chamber is a mess, and the separator looks completely inoperable. We're running out of options. First the conversion chamber, and now this. If all three aren't working, I don't think we'll get what we need. I don't have high hopes for this. The final chamber takes the particles from the separation chamber, combines them with transport solution, and then removes harmful byproducts. The result is the final energy fuel that's used to power the colony, in a form that's easy to transport and reasonably safe. But in this condition, the chamber won't help us at all. Entire components of the machinery have been removed or damaged. Poor Build-A-Pre must have been in this room when it went off, to think that he managed to make it down to the control room in his condition. Though I'm afraid we wasted our time. There is no hope of extracting any useful energy from the refining for the escape ship. What's more curious is that the plant's seismic activity wasn't completely to blame. It appears the facility was seriously tampered with. In any case, there's nothing more we can accomplish today. When you're ready, return to the surface and let's get you home. Oh, alright. Time to get the hell out of here. What a waste. What happened in there? I dare say I think you should ask Mr. Luumba tonight about this. We're in quite a position now. Ugh. Fucking Mr. Luumba. Tampering with our shit. What kind of man is that? Alright, let me out. Let me out. My goodness, that was quite a day. Well, you better get up here. Good. The scan data will be extremely valuable. Also, Flubji, have you ever been to the mountains back on Earth? Of course. Oh, good. And you no doubt can appreciate their majesty and beauty. That is very good to hear. In any case, I'm going to power down now and get working on today's data. I'll speak to you again later tonight. It's time, Flubji. The hall's now. Just head in when you're ready. Have a good evening. Alright. Ugh. Hey there, I was just running some fuel simulations. With the current escape ship, you're going to need too much fuel. I'm trying to tighten that up. I heard you went to the refinery today. How was that? Fruitless. I see. That is very unfortunate. Without more crystals, it's going to be difficult to supply your escape ship with enough fuel to get you home. Before we were researching improved methods of processing the crystal into fuel, there was always a problem with volatility and safety. Just when we thought we had a new, better source, we discovered some danger with extraction or transport, and we'd be back at square one. I don't know what the real Jean was doing, but I was hoping you'd find some answers in that refinery. Did you find out anything else? Bodies. Oh, that's terrible. I don't remember that far, to be perfectly honest. I don't remember what happened there at all. You know, Pierre and I sent a few messages back and forth at the beginning. I don't know if we can continue to do so. He would have reports all the time about people that died, how our numbers were always getting smaller. Just thinking about that, even now, really gets to me. And now you're all that's left. So to see that, I guess I don't know how you do it, how you find the strength to keep going. What else did you find in that refinery? A mess. A ruined facility and more casualties. These missions of yours are bringing worse and worse news. Damn, if the place was destroyed like that, no wonder you weren't able to use the refinery at all. I'm surprised you were able to explore as much as you did. Back in Colony B, before I left Pierre and the others to return to the caves, things got bad. The comprised structures affected our safety, health, everything. If the other colonists were exposed to waste materials from the refining process, or there was an explosion, that could have caused a lot of what you saw. How terrible. All those good mines to waste, and all that equipment we could have used. What else did you find? Oh, what kind of message? Wait, you say Nomura wrote that? That you found it by his body? No, that can't be. That doesn't make any sense. Why would he think that the other Jean, why would he think he betrayed him? That's just not possible. Look, I may be incomplete, but I'm still Jean, and I swear to you, I would never betray my staff or my colleagues. Listen, I know what you must think. I don't know what the other Jean did, but I'm sure it was in the best interest of the people around him, because that's what I would do. I must have been trying to solve our problem, I must have been desperate, but I know I would have done it for the right reasons. You believe me, don't you? Of course. I knew you would. You understand these things, being in this position. It's so difficult to keep going, you know? Listen, I don't want you to doubt me, so let's talk, honestly. Ask me about anything, and I'll be completely truthful with you. You want to know more about me? Alright, I'll tell you something I've never told anyone. When we first arrived, it took a while for everyone to settle in and adjust. Most of my staff handled the move very well, which made things easier. But I didn't, not at all. I was always the exploring type, and I was caught off guard by how stifling it could be to live in a colony like this, despite our preparation. So I worked a lot, physically, more than I should have, than I was supposed to, but it kept me busy and tired, which gave me less time to panic or feel trapped. I broke my leg once trying to sort out a situation with some of the mining drones. I had to be taken to the Colony B medical bay, but none of my staff knew. In fact, nobody did. I asked the medical staff to suppress the records from people like Pierre. I guess I was embarrassed or ashamed. I understand. But I'm telling you, see, because I'm not embarrassed to share things like this with you. I know I can trust you, and you can trust me. Okay, see, I'm being as honest as I can. What else do you want to know about? Your staff. Yes, of course. Let me tell you about the people I worked with. Listen, I won't lie and say there wasn't conflict between any of us. The stress of keeping the facilities running sometimes took its toll. But those people were there because they were the best. I handpicked every single one. Ren, Bill, all of them. I don't know what happened out there to the real me, but I know I wouldn't hurt anybody knowingly. We were actually one of the closer working groups, too. We'd always celebrate people's birthdays in the research center. I remember that. But maybe I didn't pay enough attention to the staff at the refinery. That crew seemed tough, or perhaps I misjudged them. Okay, see, I'm being honest. What else do you want to know about Pierre? I see. You want to know about Pierre and me. Sure, I promised. I'll be completely honest. Did The director and I consulted each other on all things. He put up a good front, he really had to, but he confided in me his worries about how the project was going. He was this genius visionary, but in many ways he wasn't suited to lead everyone. It's not that he didn't care, but he was preoccupied with all the details of the facilities. We grew very close over the years. I guess I was one of the few who he felt he could relate to. Whatever the reason, we spent a lot of time together. And then, after the Rift event started all this, we didn't agree on as much as before. I won't go into the details, but we had a pretty big falling out. I went off to the cave to try to salvage that situation, and he, well, to be honest, I don't know what happened. I guess that's partly why we're here. Well, I hate to say it, but I think we're running out of time again. It's probably best that we wrap this up. You still have so much to do, I know. I hope you understand how honest I've been with you, and I hope you'll come back soon. I know that together we can figure this all out. Listen, when you're out there, look around for me, okay? I want to know what happened to the people I worked with. I want the whole story. Be careful out there, Flubgy. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for me too, buddy. Day 9. Good morning, Flubgy. Can you believe the week is almost over already? You've got one more mission this week, and I'm picking up readings of a storm again. You better come to the core. There's only one more area you can visit today, and it's a good thing, too. The storms are coming back around. Let's get this mission over with so you can return before it gets too bad out there. My projections don't look good. This was Colony B's medical center. Much of it looks like it collapsed in the Rift event. I don't imagine it will be pleasant in there. I would rather not go in at all, but you need to find medical supplies. Just go on in, and let's take a look around. Oh my, it's even worse. It's even worse than I imagined. Those poor people. Well, let's do what we came for and get out of here. You need to look for medical supplies. They're usually in red containers. That's a self-triage terminal. Patients used it to file their issues quickly. It might still be able to read a data card. Alright. Accessible, password required. Alright. Great, this is a large package of standard medical rations. Your scan indicates contents are still intact and viable. There must be more supplies available. Please keep looking. Is there anything else? No? Alright. don't want to try to miss anything in this game. That's the body of Nurse Simonus. His remains include several cracked ribs and a bruised skull. Nurse Simonus didn't take well to colony life after a while, and although he was well liked by other colonists, he could be devious. I still have access to a security report regarding Mr. Simonus. Apparently, after several years, he started getting into fights. How did Nurse Simonus contract those particular injuries, I wonder? Looks like shit went down, yo. Is there nothing I can scan? The other ICU rooms are completely blocked off by the destruction. Can I get around this body? Apparently not. Can. Oh my, I'm afraid those are the remains of Nurse Yagmar Dahl. She was one of the more senior nurses before the Rift event. By the looks of that room, her body sustained serious exposure to the elements, but in her pocket is a data card I can read. Nurse Dahl's shift log. February, whatever. You know what? I'm probably the only one still doing this. I hope later crews would benefit from our experience. It's been 8 months now since the quake ruined the colony. Without a connection to the AI, we're flying blind in so many ways. The word was that Supervisor Tong was leading a team to Colony A to repair communications and get supplies. That was 2 months ago. We're doing the best we can. That room is in quite a state. Those remains you just scanned are so compromised. I can't determine whom they belong to. It's a faded, handwritten note. You might not be able to see the ink very well, but I can read its traces for you. It says, Darius, inability to run CAT scan means we can't properly diagnose. Use code medfiles to access the main system and see previous history. Alright, medfiles is the password. Okay, we're in the main medical network. I've used it to disable the locks in that room. You should be able to use the doors there now. Oh, this is interesting. There are medical records for most of the colonists. Some are missing or corrupted. What's notable, however, is that the records for our 4 special colonists are absent as well. There might be hard copies of those records somewhere else, perhaps even in areas you've already been. Keep an eye out for them while you're looking for those medical supplies. Well, that makes me want to go back and fucking check. How about that? It looks like you've scanned medical records for Director Pierre Tom. You will no doubt find this interesting. He was known to work very long hours, and at one point his work ethic led to extreme exhaustion. It was Jean Luomba who checked him into medical after one extreme case. But Mr. Chong, as you know, was very stubborn and continued to work very hard, possibly to his detriment. His record also notes suspected painkiller abuse. Despite this, he was checked in several more times for extreme exhaustion throughout the years. Now there should only be 3 more medical records to find. Alrighty then. Nothing? Can't. That's not one of them. This looks like one of them. Guess not. Okay, well. North corridor. Let's go at examination room. This might have medical records. Nurse spot. The operation assistant drone was destroyed in the collapse. We can't even salvage his parts for use elsewhere. His? Oh, please accept my apologies. You're correct. That was needlessly sentimental. The drone has no gender, of course. Well, I mean, I was just curious as to why you referred to it him, but whatever. You appear to have found medical records on Agrodome's Chief Leslie Bourgeois. There are some interesting details in here. According to this, Ms. Bourgeois suffered from mild claustrophobia. It says that she often complained about it when she was required to be in the main colony facility. It also says that she experienced mild allergies, not to the earth plants she was cultivating, but some of the natural elements from this planet. Apparently, in her attempts to adapt flora to the local environment and to create new breeds, she developed new allergies and came here seeking help for them. There should only be 2 more medical files. Oh, is there fucking nothing? Can't. That's literally only reason I came in here. This room is a complete write-off. There are medical drones buried underneath as well. Not all the casualties were human. The drone has been completely corroded due to exposure. It likely served to the very end. You found another set of hand-drawn schematics. These seem even more complex than the last, but they're difficult to make out. They've been affected by exposure to the increasingly tainted air. They mentioned something about improving speed. I think you should mention these to Mr. Tong when you meet him in the Holosim chamber. He might be able to help. As the seismic events became worse, it must have been increasingly difficult to run a stable medical facility. Oh, well, is that it? Those nutritional supplements will help you survive the long trip in the escape pod. We're lucky there was any stock left. Still, I think it's in your best interest to find as many supplies as you can while you're there, so keep looking. I found the medical records for comm relay chief Winnie Laurie. They are, unfortunately, not a happy collection of notes. Miss Laurie experienced anxiety throughout the duration of her post here. She had trouble relating to other colonists, and that led to pronounced cases of stress. Eventually, she was diagnosed with depression, though according to these notes, she never really accepted that diagnosis. It looks like the ER was quite busy at the time. There are numerous reports of fractures and major injuries. The scan shows a disturbing collection of material on that bed. Reduced supplies likely meant a less than ideal scenario in there. You think so? You've discovered the body of Dr. Lance Magorian. He was a brilliant surgeon and a major asset to the facility. The doctor wasn't always popular with his subordinates, however. He was very impatient with staff who couldn't keep up with him. Oh, I mean, I don't blame him. Some pants. Those are scrubs for the medical staff to wear when entering the operation room. They're supposed to be clean. Your scan, though, indicates they aren't as sterilized as they should be. The staff were likely working in increased difficult conditions. Yeah, that happens. The water in those scrub stations is putrid and filthy. There are even small vines growing out of it, like the ones you found in the agrodomes. What's this? Nothing? No. Well. I'll look at you in a sec. You've discovered medical records for Expedition and Resource Management lead Jean Lumba. His record is long, but I can pull this salient details. He began to experience occasional but serious lumbar pain a couple of years ago, likely from all the physical labor he'd insisted on doing. And then, while working in the caves, Mr. Lumumba suffered a leg fracture and underwent laser reconstruction here at the facility. Because of Mr. Lumumba's continuous activity, the fracture continued to bother him and made his work more difficult. I have notes here about many subsequent medical visits. Well, you found our colonist medical records. I wish we could leave, but you still need to see if there are any viable medical supplies around. Oh, yep, there is. Unfortunately, that batch of antibiotics and other general meds have been exposed and are no longer usable. What an unfortunate waste. Let's not give up just yet. There must be something else there you can use. Keep your eyes open. Well, that means I gotta scan this dude. That's Dr. Li Zhu, the head surgeon. She was incredibly ambitious and one of the youngest surgeons Hudson Cartier ever employed. According to my records, Dr. Li was a huge proponent of using drones for research and practice. She was very forward-thinking. This is a major point of contention between her and Dr. Magorian. He didn't think kindly of non-human medical staff. Is there anything else? There's something. Oh, there we go. The theater table normally has very modern, elaborate equipment next to it. These tools, however, are less than ideal. There's a non-functioning data pad and an old-fashioned theater record book next to it. Some of the pages in the book are of interest. Patient W. King, procedure spinal fracture, nano rebuild. Staff L. Magorian, surgeon Dr. Simonez, or whatever, assisting. Complications, seismic event during op caused jump into delivery being fractured not 100% closed. Patient will experience limited mobility if we kind of revisit this. Oh, that sucks. Is there anything else? Oh, take access card. You found an access card. It doesn't look like someone's personal data, more like a system card. You have to find a way to read it. Check the award. Alright. How are we gonna do that? Check the ore. I need something to read this. Looks like I can try to maybe use this. No? Should I use this? Looks like that is a sysadmin bypass card. Interesting, it brought up a debug menu of sorts. Most of what's here is useless, but there is a file that can be accessed. There's a truncated account of the last patient process. Patient 0, McKenna. Milady. Danger to self and others. It continues, to my great dismay, Mr. McKenna had to be contained. Please forgive me for what I had to do. Another note in the file says, don't open up his room until you're sure he has grown dangerous. Use YYMMDD, but only if it's safe. YYMMDD. YYMT. Yeah, what is a year, month, and date? Oh, 2060-04-23. 2060-04-23. 2060-04-23. 2060-04-23. 60... 04-23. Oh boy, that room is in quite a state. It must smell quite strong in there. Yeah. Looks like you found a decent cache of supplies and medication that we can keep for our journey. You found as many useful supplies as you're likely to, and you found all 4 of those medical records too. Finally, that's over with. I don't want you to stay there another moment. Head to the shuttle and come back home. Oh, hold on. I got some shit to do. Like, find out who this guy is. That's what's left of X-ray technician Obaseki McKenna. He appears to have been locked away in that lab for some time. He likely died of malnutrition in the end, which would have been most unpleasant. He was clutching a letter. Lee, it took me a long time, but I forgive you. I know you did what you had to. I'm so sorry for everything. What I did to Darius was unforgivable. I know that now. I know that now, whatever. Alright, well. Let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, Flubgy, that was very difficult to experience. Are you okay? I will need some time to think about all this. I was not prepared for how bad Colony B had become after the Rift event. Your scans revealed so much disease and filth. The colony became just as dangerous and toxic inside as it did out here. Only now am I truly realizing how disastrous losing contact with this place was. Maybe it's best if you just get home safely. Well, yeah, it's about all I can really do now. And we're back. Well done today. I know it wasn't easy. Please come to the core right away so we can process your findings. Okay, all the data you collected today is synced and ready to be worked on. You did well out there. Since you went to Colony B, you'll be able to visit Mr. Tong in the Holosome Chamber tonight. You can retire to your quarters when you're ready. I'll call for you when the Holosome Chamber is available. It's time, Flubgy. The Holosome Chamber is ready for you now. Just head in when you're ready and have a good evening. Alright. Ah, you're back. I assume that means you headed back to Colony B. I'm gonna call this machine fucking Allie. Allie said. Well, it mentioned the medical wing. How did that go? It was rough. I can remember it being heavily compromised at one point. I'm thankful I couldn't have been there myself. Listen, I can tell that the AI is having a very hard time with this, with seeing Colony B again, I mean not realizing, but after the Rift event, well, a lot of the colonists began to resent it. I must confess, I don't really understand why. The Rift event stranded us. It wasn't the AI's fault, but for some reason I remember the people who were left getting more and more angry. The medical center you saw today, I think it did something to Allie. It seems different now. I can really understand. I watched a lot of good people succumb to terrible diseases and the stress of everything that was happening around us. What about you? Me? Well, health-wise, I wasn't one of the worst cases. I was too busy to check myself in too much, especially after the Rift event. Things were hectic. On one hand, we were lucky. So much of the medical equipment Hudson Cartier equipped us with could be used without a technician. When our staff became compromised, well, we at least could get basic procedures done automatically. It kept everyone in decent shape for a good long while. But eventually, things had to be calibrated or maintained, and we kept losing the people who were best suited to do those things. And what's worse, automed equipment can't help with the mental stresses that affected everyone. Only humans could. And we were all at the end of our rope, you know? I think all of us were affected, mentally and physically. I don't like to admit it, but I was no different. Honestly, it was difficult to see people like that as Colony B started to degrade. Medical records. Oh, I see. So it looks like you did some digging of your own while you were out there. Where do you get this? These were supposed to be confidential. Look, I know what you're thinking. What the report says is true. I did work too much. I had to. I was the director. I had an entire facility depending on me, you know? And the pills? Painkillers? Well, yeah, if I'm being honest, for a while they were a problem, but only for a while. As it says in the report, Jean brought me in at one point. He was worried about me. He was always worried about me. I was exhausted, and it was affecting me. I was losing weight, unable to sleep. I think that's when Jean and I started to argue a lot. We were very close, you understand? We really helped each other see the flip side of the colony's operation, but we could butt heads a lot. After he checked me in, I got those painkillers. I convinced the doctors I need them. And for a while, they told some of what was going on. Eventually, though, it was a problem. Jean and I continued to argue whenever we met. Maybe they were partly the reason we had such a falling out. But after he left to go off somewhere, I got off those damn things. Things were getting worse, and I knew I had to get everyone else through the mess. I don't remember much after that. I must have left, too, but I don't know why or to where. But please, believe me, I'm not that man anymore. Hell, I'm not a man of any kind, really, but you know what I mean. And honestly, it was just, oh, well, look at these. You found some schematic drawings, did you? These look like the ones you found before. It appears I was indeed busy trying to come up with something. These are unfinished, but they're concepts for how to increase the speed of the escape ship by modifying the thrusters. I can work with these, complete these notes, and talk to Allie so it knows what to do. This will go a long way to improve your escape ship. Thank you, Flubgy. It really helps, you know, to see that I was still trying, in some way, at least. Well, it seems like you're really getting the inside scoop on what everyone went through, but you've got your own trial, so let's talk about you. What would you say is what you worry about the most? Losing your mind or your body? My mind. I wonder if that has to do with your love of music. Even if you couldn't play, I imagine not being able to appreciate or comprehend music would be terrible. The reason I ask is, we've been talking so much about the stresses of what happened to us, but you've got your own problems now. And it's really important that you don't ignore how stressful it is. Don't just try to bottle that up and expect to make it out okay. We're all just working away on getting your ship ready, but staying focused is really important. So if you need to talk about anything, I'm here, okay? Thanks, Pierre. No need to thank me, Flubgy. Just come to me if you need to. That's all I ask. Well, I think we've probably used up enough of the colony's power for tonight, haven't we? It really has been great seeing you again. Please remember what I said. I'll be thinking about you while I work in here on the ship's thrusters. See you next time, Flubgy, and please, keep an eye out for anything that might help me understand what happened. Day 10. Flubgy, do you hear the storm again last night? No, sorry. Really? That is an impressive talent you have. In any case, the storm appears to be coming back around at regular intervals. We are likely to experience it again in another 5 days or so. Come and see me in the core as soon as you can. We should talk. Well, I have some good news and some bad news. Which would you like to hear? Bad news first. You're always so practical. The bad news is, this recurring storm may make our eventual escape difficult. However, I crunched some numbers last night, and I think it's time for some drastic steps. I want you to go to the terraforming fields today. I don't think you've ever been there before. It's the installation that controls the ground and orbital terraforming units. As of now, it's still operational, but I think it's time to shut it down. The atmosphere is very unstable, and the terraforming is only making it worse at this point. So when you're ready, please head to the shuttle bay and plot a course to the terraforming fields. Are you sure? I'm afraid so. Don't worry, I'll be with you every step of the way. Looks like the terraforming installation is still operating. It's a shame we need to shut it down. You can't see them through the clouds, but a series of high-powered nodes continuously orbit the planet, changing the atmosphere from above. While at the same time, this installation works on the ground and helps us to monitor progress and make adjustments. It's the most advanced system of its kind in Hudson Cartier's network. We have to do what we came here to do. Head inside and look for the terminals you need to shut down. I'll guide you. According to work logs, the last crew team to be there consisted of Superintendent Ryan Patton and Engineer David Affin. That's interesting. My records show that even though they were stationed here together frequently, they rarely got along. I have a whole directory of complaints and incident reports. In any case, be careful in there. It looks like the installation was compromised. I'm reading nasty particles in the air. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it here actually, and we'll pick it up next time and probably complete the whole game when I do that. So be prepared, and if you watch this on YouTube, thank you for watching and enjoy. Have a great one, guys.